We are live on the Willie Does Wrestling and Wolf Ferris YouTube channels. This is your boy, Willie Does Wrestling. I will be the host for this evening, and I am once again joined here on another episode of the Unscripted podcast with the heel, everyone's favorite Wolf Ferris, and one half of the No Bones About Wrestling podcast, Asa. And boys, how are you guys on this fine day?
Feeling dead,
Yeah, doing well. Doing well.
tired. I don't know why I'm so tired.
Well, All In and Monday Night Raw, two shows that are
Yeah,
long enough. So,
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah, a lot of
but
wrestling going on, man. I still haven't watched Rampage from Friday. I'm still trying to catch up.
oh man, I haven't watched Rampage, I haven't watched Collision, and I haven't watched the second half of Raw, even though I saw a bunch of things that happened.
Oh
But
yeah, you
however,
went away.
I went
You
away
disappeared.
because I had to do shit.
Uh,
That's what I love about going live. So hopefully nothing pops up today. But with that being said, today is probably going to be one of the toughest podcasts that we ever do, which is why it's sad that I am the one that has to host this. Um, of course, as you know, I want to say almost a week now, a week ago, Windham Rotunda, also known as Bray Wyatt, has unfortunately passed away at the age of 36. A man who, touched us all in the wrestling world, and a man who was reported to be on the road to recovery, but unfortunately, as reports now go more and more detailed throughout the days, we know more about the instances about Bray's death, which was unfortunate. Um, Definitely, he's a three-time world champion, two-time tag champion, one of the best to ever do it. And we thought we would go live here today and just talk, vent about one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time, in my opinion, maybe in both of yours as well, Bray Wyatt. So, my first question is probably going to be the toughest of the whole night. I'm going to ask you both: where were you guys when you first heard of the news that Bray Wyatt passed away? Wolf, I'm going to start with you.
I was here on Twitter, preparing for uh, the podcast and preparing for uh, what's it called? Also watching the show for the EFED I'm in because my character, Gus Novella, was set for the main event. Um, had a cruiserweight title opportunity, and then just suddenly I saw out of nowhere Triple H's tweet, and I was like, God damn it, I hate 2023. Um, the only thing I felt was just that video clip of Jay White just repeatedly f bombing.
Yeah, that
That
clip.
was it sucked.
yeah,
Yeah,
for me, yeah, I was right. I was about 5 feet in front of where I am right now. I don't remember what I was doing because it was later at night, and I remember Dylan came on. We were getting ready to do something. He was going to show me how to do something on the computer. That's what it was. That's what it was. That's why it was later at night. It wasn't a podcast. Um, but Dylan came on and got on his computer. He's like, "No fucking way!" I was like, "What?" You know? He's like,
yeah,
"No fucking way!" I'm like, "Dude, what is what is it? What is it?" He goes, "Bray Wyatt died," and I just am like, I mean, just taken aback. You know, can't believe it. I'm like,
yeah,
it has to be fake. You know, and my first thought is, oh, he's got some fake wrestling news site you know, but Dylan is like us. I mean, I think he knows what sites to look at,
Yep.
what sites you can't believe, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was hard to think it was fake since it came straight from Triple H.
Yeah, and
Um,
see, that's what he was looking at, and that's what I asked him. I said, where are you seeing it? What site?" But he wouldn't answer. He was reading more and more, and
Mm-hmm.
and I eventually he told me Triple H, and I got my computer booted up and read it myself, and
yeah,
just couldn't believe it, and just wanted to. It was so early, like the only site I could see was the Triple H tweet, and I just wanted it to be like he got hacked. You know,
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
what I wanted to believe. Uh, yeah, I mean it sucks. It sucked. It's terrible.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think I was eating. Shockingly enough, I think I went home from work that day, and I was eating some food, and then I think it was in our group chat that we have on Twitter, our personal group chat. The Wrestling Junkies, good friends of ours, go check them out. Uh, they texted saying Bray Wyatt died, and I think all of us were like, "What? Like, no fucking way!" Um, and then he sent a screenshot of Triple H's tweet, and I thought it was Photoshop because it was a screenshot. It wasn't
I
like
think
Triple H's official tweet.
I also sent the tweet. Like the
And so I went all over my Twitter feed, and it was, yeah, like you said, Asa, it was just Triple H's tweet. Like no news sites were confirming,
Mhm.
no other wrestlers were making statements yet because this was so recent. And I was like, well, no, this can't be true. And then I want to say I waited around 2 to 3 hours before ESPN started talking about it. WWE's official Twitter account started talking about it and all that, and it was like, wow, this is fucking true, and all that shit. So it was crazy. Give me a
Yeah, it still sucks. It's still hard to believe, you know.
yeah.
I mean, he
Um,
should be like long gray hair in in 30 years, 40 years at conventions signing shit. You know,
yeah.
shouldn't be gone. It's
Uh,
not
yeah.
right.
It sucked. Yeah. It really reminded me of really Eddie because what's it called? Eddie died pretty young too.
Yeah, I think it was 38 when Eddie died.
Yeah.
My apologies. My family brought me brownies. Um,
Fair enough.
so
Uh,
yeah, to really add to your point, Wolf. Like I said, I wasn't around for the Eddie Guerreros. I wasn't there for the Randy Savages, the Ultimate Warriors, even the Chris Benoit's at first. But you know, this was probably the most stunned that I was at a wrestler's death. Um,
yeah.
Especially one that I looked up to every single week and saw rise and win multiple titles and multiple character shifts, and it was upsetting, and I thought it was false, and the fact that it was true, it broke my heart. I remember going to work the next day and all, and really for this whole past week, just like almost crying every single time I would go on Twitter and seeing a bunch of tribute videos and uh, wrestlers' statements and all that. So yeah, man, it's very sad. But I liked what they did with the tribute. I thought the tribute show was a very good touch, especially having LA Knight and Finn Balor be the main event. Um, but this isn't only about where we were when Bray Wyatt died. This is also about our memories from when he was alive. So we'll go into a very basic first question as well. What were your guys' first impressions of Bray Wyatt? Asa, we'll start with you this time. First impressions.
My first impressions, I think I saw him back in, I think it was 2015.
Mm.
And my first impressions, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Because he's so stood out. I was at a time where I had been running my own business. I'd been running a video game store slash arcade, and in short, I was working like 80 hours a week. No shit.
Mm.
So I didn't have time to watch anything on TV, much less wrestling. So I hadn't been watching, hadn't been keeping up. And then I start watching again, and he sticks out like a sore thumb, obviously. And just the way he delivers his promos, the way he stands out, the way he connects with the audience as a creep,
Yeah.
reminded me of Mick Foley as Mankind. And he also reminded me of Robert De Niro. If you've seen the remake of Cape Fear,
No, I
uh,
don't think I have.
it's a good one to watch. It was a Martin Scorsese movie, um, the Cape Fear remake. Robert De Niro plays a guy who just got out of jail, and he's after the lawyer who is his lawyer who he thinks didn't play his case right and got him sent to jail. And he's a big time creep. And Bray reminded me of him. But yeah, those were my first impressions. I was just like, man, this guy is so good at being a creep.
Yeah.
And he made me like he hooked me back. It was him. I can say if he weren't on it, I don't know if I would have kept watching. Uh, but he stood out and was definitely my favorite.
All
Uh,
right.
yeah.
Wolf, what do you remember the first time you saw Bray Wyatt on your TV?
Uh, First time I saw Bray Wyatt was definitely um around the time when the Wyatt family came to the main roster, about in the time of what I call the Authority era, uh, and when they would feud with the Shield.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I think it was when the Wyatt family would feud with the Shield. Um, that's when I saw Bray, and Bray honestly looked. I, I tried to understand Bray, and it didn't take long. I definitely liked the gimmick, I, and the way he did like mic work and the promos and everything, and how he uh, Rowan and Brody, uh, or Harper, or what all faced the Shield. It was incredible, honestly. Obviously, Rowan and Harper didn't take my attention too much. Most of the attention was on Bray because Bray was the one speaking most of the time. Um, and I just thought, okay, the other two are just the powerhouses that he has with him. Um, they were good, but yeah, Bray was the one doing most of the talking, and I just loved it because my cousins got me into WWE. Or one I talked to most. He uh, originally got me into WWE in the first place, which was around the 2010, 2011.
Mm.
Um, and my favorites back then, like the only thing before I even actually cared about WWE, I only knew of Cena.
Yeah.
uh,
2010, 2011, that'd be the only one you would know.
apparently, I think I also like knew of it like back in like 2008. Um, but like I didn't pay attention, all because I was a child. Um, and all I knew was like Cena. I didn't really know anyone else. And then 2010, 2011 is when I actually started paying attention. That's when I started loving Rey Mysterio. Uh, I remember despising Orton.
Oh my
uh,
god.
but that was back in peak heel era
Yeah.
Orton, where everyone hated him. But yeah, Bray was interesting because my cousin who got me into WWE, his favorite was Triple H, and my other cousin's favorite was Undertaker. And I did love them both as well. Bray sort of connected to me, kind in a way, kind of like Undertaker. I kind of understood why one of my cousins loved Undertaker through Bray, um, but obviously it was different in a different manner. Uh, I could never really fully explain it, but I always was fascinated by Bray. Um, it was great. Obviously, my favorite part of Bray, his career, was when the Wyatt family feuded with the Shield.
Yeah.
It was the beginning of me knowing Bray. Uh, so yeah,
All right. My first impression of Bray was shockingly when I first started watching wrestling, which was 2016. Shocking that I started watching wrestling in 2016, and apparently, according to people, knowing how much I know. Uh, but I think this was when the Wyatt family were returning from injury and they were starting to feud with the New Day, and they had that little cinematic match in the Wyatt compound.
yeah,
And I remember watching, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" But I was gravitated, and especially during the whole story where Xavier Woods was like scared of Bray, and Xavier's like, "No, no, guys, what are we doing? Like, we're going in the fucking Wyatt compound. We're gonna die by Bray Wyatt." You know what I mean? And it was he's so dangerous. And then one of my buddies from school had I want to say WrestleMania 30 on DVD, and it was when Bray Wyatt and John Cena had their first match at Mania, and especially that whole promo package that they had between Bray and Cena. I think it was like Eminem's song "Legacy," one of the best fucking promo video package you've ever seen. Um, and the whole match, I was very gravitated towards it, and that was when I was starting falling in love with Bray Wyatt. And yeah, that was sort of my first impression was Bray Wyatt versus John Cena at WrestleMania 30, and then the feud with the New Day in 2016. So
I do
yeah,
want to also clarify that my when I did get introduced to Bray Wyatt, that was when I had um, watched back some stuff because I had taken a hiatus, a long hiatus from WWE, and I just watched back just to understand who's who. Just because obviously, I think I got back into I like stopped around 2010, 2011, and I didn't even have the ability to actually watch the shows. I just stopped paying attention to the people who were there. Um, so I didn't know about anyone who came until like I got back, which was like 2020, uh, 2019, 2020. So I was just basically watching back all the stuff that happened in between. So I knew who was there. I knew it. So I watched back Shield, Shield footage. I watched back Wyatt Family. I watched back all NXT people, um, NXT Black and Gold people like Ricochet, uh, Adam Cole, uh, Finn Balor, AJ. I watched back everyone. Um, so so during that time, that was when I saw Bray Wyatt, and yeah, it was kind of when I saw the Shield. It was like 2014 era. That's when I got introduced, and I was like, all right, I like this guy. Uh,
Yeah, no. The thing with Bray Wyatt as well that appealed to me was also his horror-esque characters because
yeah,
I think I said this on a live stream before as well. He was like a horror villain that loved being evil and had so much fun just torturing the shit out of people, which is
it's
weird to
great.
say out loud. But Bray was one of those characters, and especially those backstage promos that he would always do when with his Eater of Worlds character. I was always gravitated to it, and yeah, the Wyatt family as well. Um, yeah, no, I thought it was very, very interesting. And of course, 2016 was also where Randy Orton would also play into the Wyatt family, and I loved that whole story. Um, and yeah, no, so we're gonna segue into that, and we're going to go into a little bit of another question. What do you think is the greatest rivalry of Bray Wyatt's career? Asa.
Well, I am probably gonna say Cena.
Mm,
Uh, because of the two big matches that he had. One you were just talking about at WrestleMania 30. The one where it was a cinematic match without it being cinematic. I mean, it was told in a cinematic manner, where he had to get through Harper and Rowan, uh, and everyone to kind of get to Wyatt, and it was told that way. It was a lot of story to that match, and that was Wyatt's first WrestleMania too. So it was a big deal to show that he could perform on that stage with Cena, especially the top guy in the company. So you had that one, and then we had that super weird Firefly Funhouse one. Which WrestleMania was that?
36.
Thank you. I knew someone would know.
Yeah.
36. Which, man, I love that match. It was so weird with Cena like being in the NWO and playing the Hollywood Hogan character, and just all these references for longtime fans.
yep.
Uh,
Bray
thrown in
singing
there.
Nikki Bella's theme.
Do what?
Bray singing Nikki Bella's theme. I found that funny.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, all that stuff thrown in there for fans. Just weirdness. And then John Cena getting sent to the fucking Shadow Zone or whatever. I still don't know how he came back. They never told us how he got back from it. They should have, because he just popped back up one day. Unless this Cena that we see now with the hair is fake Cena, and the real Cena is still gone. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
Uh, but just in those two matches, like how pivotal the first one was for Wyatt's career, and how typical the second one was for the latter part of Wyatt's career, and how much it shows kind of the creativity that Wyatt went for in the latter part of his career. I'm gonna go with Cena. I think those two. If you watch those two WrestleMania matches, you really see what Bray Wyatt wanted to do with the wrestling match. Well, what he thought you could do within the parameters of a wrestling match. You could still have a match and tell a story, and tell a story in ways different than we thought we could before. And that's the really the shame of this loss, is that the guy was, I mean, not just to say it because he's dead, but the guy was so creative. I mean, came along and really, like I said, tried to reinvent the wheel with the way he did matches and the way he did promos. And who the fuck would have thought of doing a children's show host slash demon character, you
Yeah.
know? And just brilliant. and it's a shame we're gonna miss him. But yeah, the Cena feud, I gotta go with Cena.
Santo agrees as well, saying Cena versus Bray Wyatt was good.
So,
Wolf, yeah.
wait, the question was, it
Who
was
is
like,
his best feud, best rivalry?
mm, oh, thing is, like, in terms of like his singles run, I
No,
mean,
it could be singles or tag team. Doesn't matter.
well, I mean, for the Wyatt family, I think the best feud was with the Shield, but um, in terms of Bray himself, I'm kind of torn between a couple options, but I think the correct answer is uh, Orton. I think Orton was definitely one of, if not the biggest rival for Bray. Um, not just as normal Bray when Randy Orton walked in as the Royal Rumble winner in 2017, and also Bray was champion. Um, but then, like, that was, and then they also showed the house thing when Orton burning it, and then afterwards, when Bray came back as the Fiend, um, and Bray and Orton would feud, with Bray as the Fiend and also Orton, and then bringing Alexa into the story. I think that was amazing. Um, Another feud that was probably too short, but I think definitely was fascinating to me was Bray versus Undertaker for WrestleMania. Um, because the way that Bray presented it, as especially after Undertaker had just lost to Brock at WrestleMania, and he wasn't. I'm pretty sure he wasn't seen since. Um, Bray was kind of exploiting that and saying like, "Oh, now that you lost, I'm the new face of fear. Like, uh, your legend is done." Um, and then when Undertaker finally showed up or was heard back from, he said, "I'm not dead yet." And then he burned the chair. Uh, that was I was excited. However, I'm a little peeved that that wasn't when we ended Undertaker's straight Undertaker streak. I think to Wyatt would have been perfect, especially since Wyatt was new. They could have been thinking maybe because Wyatt was too new, um, that it wouldn't be fitting. But with Undertaker himself and Edge and others saying you could have also done Roman would have been a better choice rather than Brock Lesnar. I definitely am a little peeved that we didn't wait. Um, and that basically forced Undertaker to beat Bray at WrestleMania rather than put him over. But still, the match was incredible. I love the WrestleMania match between Bray and Undertaker. I think they definitely made something worthwhile. Uh, it's a shame that they never really feuded again properly. Like, I know that they did with the Brothers of Destruction at like when the Wyatt family debuted, I think.
It's
I
like a
think
Survivor Series.
yeah, I think the first feud they had was with Kane and Undertaker.
No, I think it was Survivor Series like 2015. I think they
Oh,
did that. Undertaker and Kane.
interesting.
I think that was it.
Because I remember what's it called?
No, I'm pretty sure. I think it was Survivor Series.
Wyatt's in-ring debut on the main roster was like I think in the build-up of SummerSlam or at
His pay
SummerSlam.
per view debut was against Kane. I think in
Yeah,
SummerSlam 2014. I think Ring of
yeah,
Fire match. Uh,
yeah.
where the fuck? When did that happen? Undertaker and Kane versus the Wyatt family. Survivor Series 2015. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so that was after uh the
After Bray.
WrestleMania match
Yeah.
with Taker. That makes sense.
Kind of continuing that feud.
Yeah. I still probably would have done something more.
Well, speaking of Kane, my favorite feud with Bray Wyatt has to be D-Bry, Daniel Bryan. Um,
Mm,
I didn't watch too much of his feud in 2013, like 2014 ish. Obviously, I seen the segment in that steel cage match where Daniel Bryan broke away from the Wyatt family, and that was really the birth of the Yes movement. I think Bray was really pivotal in Daniel Bryan's rise in the WWE, and well, I really liked their rivalry in 2020 as the Fiend, especially that strap match that they did. Um, I think Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt was definitely probably one of, if not Bray's best rivalries, and especially putting over Daniel Bryan in 2014, and then the Fiend showcasing his dominance in 2020. Um, yeah, I'm actually I love the fact that these two had a decent rivalry. I'm still at a loss for words because I still can't fucking believe still can't believe that this happened, man. And now, speaking of moments, what is your best moment with Bray Wyatt? If you could pick one, your favorite moment in Bray Wyatt's career in professional wrestling, I will go first. Um, my best moment would have to be SummerSlam 2019, the Fiend's debut against Finn Balor. The fact that the Fiend looked strong, the Fiend looked indestructible, and the fact that it was against someone good like Finn Balor. And that's another good feud between the Fiend and Finn Balor. But Michael Cole said it on commentary during SmackDown that the one thing we never gotten, the Demon versus the Fiend, and I wish that we got that for Christ's sake. But
I
uh,
think we were supposed to get it at one point, and
no,
then
that was supposed to be the Demon versus Sister Abigail,
yeah,
TLC 2017.
never mind. Yeah, and then I think Wyatt got injured, and then
AJ
um,
Styles, yeah,
he got replaced with Styles.
yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a good match, though.
Oh no, that was a very good replacement. They
Uh,
could have done like
yeah,
Balor versus Corbin again or
yeah.
something.
Um, my favorite moment, I think, for uh, I think my favorite moment for Bray was probably him winning the WWE Championship in Elimination Chamber 2017. Uh, that was an incredible match, and I think people didn't really expect Bray to win it. Uh,
No, I actually thought it would be Styles that night.
yeah, I think that was an incredible, um, unexpected win. Um, yeah, I liked it. Yeah, definitely a good swerve. And I was happy. I think a lot of people were happy for Bray. I think that made him look legitimate and worthwhile. That, and I'm pretty sure he lost it to Orton at WrestleMania, but uh, still, it was incredible nonetheless. So yeah, that would probably be my favorite moment um, for Bray because he just instantly skyrocketed to look like $1 million. uh, so yeah, uh, definitely Chamber 2017. Uh,
All right,
Well,
Asa.
it's funny. My second choice was Wolf winning the WWE Championship. My
yeah,
first choice, I'm doubling up and going with Willie though, is SummerSlam 2019, wasn't it?
yeah,
2019. Uh, when he won,
Yeah,
or I'm sorry,
yeah,
when the Fiend debuted. That was great. Almost any time that a wrestling show turns into a horror movie, I am there for it. I love it. You know, the Undertaker, Bray Wyatt, those kind of characters. I love that shit.
yep,
Uh, I always have. I've loved the Undertaker since I was a kid. I hate it when he just turns into a biker. I fucking hate that. But anyway, but getting back to Bray Wyatt, I mean, the character was so cool, you know, with the hurt and the heel gloves, with
hmm
the monstrous face. I mean, just a fucking nightmare right on his face. You know, professionally made mask. It was such an image that man, you never forget that till the end of our lives. I'll never forget the Fiend, what he looked like. That's something that sticks with you, you know. Um, and I was just, you know, like I said, the Firefly Funhouse when they started doing that, I was just so taken with how original and how funny and how creepy and how scary it all was and how well done it was because it could have easily bombed and just been. I mean, if somebody else had done it, it could have bombed and been just really stupid and really horrible.
yeah,
But it was Bray Wyatt doing it, so it worked. And
yeah,
you know, it was just him just taking a walk, taking a leap of faith that he could make it work, and he did. But yeah, the debut of that character, uh, one of the most memorable characters in WWE history, and we can debate the booking and how they booked the character all
yeah.
day.
That would take all day.
That's a different thing. But just the debut of the character was so strong, and the look of the character was great. That's a milestone date in WWE, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, I actually have the DVD of SummerSlam
Oh,
2019.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think on the side there's the Fiend. So, yeah, the Fiend right there.
That's awesome, man.
So, yeah, no, because we have a bit of a tradition in my family. Every pay-per-view that my family watches together, I buy at the little DVD store that we have. I have WrestleMania
Cool.
39 and a bunch of Mania sitting there. Um, but yeah, no, I've said the whole story with my brother multiple times. But yeah, my favorite moment has to be SummerSlam 2019, especially getting my whole family into the Bray Wyatt character. And yeah, no, that was why this death hits so hard for me specifically. Sean, thank you for joining the stream. Says my favorite moment is when he became WWE champion in 2017 at Elimination Chamber, and that's a
I,
very yeah, I think that's a very common one.
That was my second favorite. I mean, just seeing when people get what they deserve, you know,
Yes.
and especially somebody who, you know, like him or like Mick Foley, who doesn't fit the normal mold of what especially what Vince thinks of as a champion.
Yeah.
You just, man, you just cheer for him. You're just like, yeah, fuck yes, man.
Yep.
That's the way I was when Bray won the championship. I was just so happy for him.
I remember
Uh,
2017 Elimination Chamber. I thought they were gonna do Styles versus Orton or something like that. Like I didn't think in a million years that Bray
or
would.
have Cena retain and do Cena versus Orton at Mania.
Yeah,
Uh,
that too. Or
but
yeah, no.
but I think it was definitely better to have Bray win and then tell Orton turning on Bray and doing uh, Orton versus Wyatt at Mania. I thought it was incredible. Uh,
That
One
was
thing
the
that
year.
pissed me off.
That was the year with the bugs in the ring, right?
Yeah, that was the bugs in the ring at Mania 33. But sorry to cut you off, Wolf. But one thing that really irritated me about that storyline was that we didn't get a triple threat between Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Randy Orton because they were kind of giving Luke Harper a little bit of a push. R.I.P. Brody Lee, of course. Um, but they were doing the whole Brody Lee breaking away from the Wyatt family, and I really thought we were probably going to get a triple threat, but we didn't. Um, that's kind of something that kind of pisses me off still to this day, but I kind of understand that maybe they didn't view Luke Harper like that, which is a shame. Um, but yeah, no, definitely my second favorite as well is when he became WWE champion at Elimination Chamber. But the Fiend's debut is something I can never ever forget.
I did want to also just briefly talk about when Asa did mention Taker and him going biker mode. Uh, I definitely understand that. I for sure prefer the Dead Man over the American Badass, and him now being the American Badass from now on because he sees it as his normal self, like
Right.
just him. It's Mark Calloway basically
Basically,
that's
yeah.
coming out. I will have to say uh, that while I did enjoy the Dead Man, I think the best themes came from American Badass Undertaker.
Uh,
Uh,
See,
theme
I like
song. Oh,
1990 Undertaker. Gray boots, gray gloves when he wore gloves in the ring,
oh yeah,
and
yeah,
one of his big moves was just to choke people for like 40 seconds.
Wow.
I
yeah,
like that Undertaker.
yeah. I definitely enjoyed all parts of Undertaker. I think the best themes though, the theme songs was definitely from American Badass though, which is why I have a soft spot for American Badass Undertaker. Um, because Rest in Peace was iconic, but it's not a song. Uh, so yeah.
Yeah, You're Gonna Pay is an elite theme song. But another thing about theme songs, Bray Wyatt never really had a bad theme song. I mean, so now that drives another question. Which one of Bray Wyatt's theme songs are your favorite? You can only pick one.
Shatter.
Shatter? Wow, no hesitation, Wolf.
Easily shatter.
No hesitation.
Easily shatter.
Man, no, I gotta go with the other one. The what's it called?
Is it the Fiends one or is it
No, not the Fiend.
Eater of
Live in
Worlds
fear.
Bray?
Eater of Worlds one, the
Live
Live
in
in
slower,
fear.
Fear.
the slow,
Yeah.
Live in Fear. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
that one. Yeah,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that one's very good.
said that one's
My
very good.
No,
No,
no, it
no,
was
I
very
said
good.
that was very good.
Oh,
That
it
was
was
No,
very
very
good.
good. Okay,
that was very good.
it's close.
Uh,
Shatter's very close. Very
yeah,
close second.
Shatter
Very
was
close.
gave me chills, man.
That's a
Yeah.
good song. That's a great song. I've been listening to that, like we said, like on repeat.
Oh yeah, Shatter definitely. I was listening to on repeat, but I think nothing can surpass "Live in Fear" as well. Especially it's like it's like one of those like lullaby songs you could sing your kid to bed,
I
right?
well,
And
I at the very least, I'm pretty sure no one will say the Fiend song.
I love the Fiend song, but it's
I
just the
didn't.
weakest out of all three.
I did
I'm
not
sorry
like the
about that.
Fiend song. I mean, I was okay with it because I mean it was like kind
It was
of
different.
it fit the horror vibe, and it also fit, and I also liked it with the Firefly Funhouse intro
Oh
at the
yeah.
beginning. But like as it went on, it just got worse and worse. I'm like, no, no.
Yeah,
Brother.
Live in Fear was just like it was like a hippie jam. The
Yeah,
longer
it
it
was
went, you know,
alright. Yeah,
Kind of like country and pop was what I
yeah,
felt like. It was like a mix of
it was
those.
like a folk. It was like folk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it fit his character well, and especially with the fireflies in
exactly. It
there.
fit his character very well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but Shatter was more my style, and I was like, I gotta love Shatter.
yeah, no, Shatter was definitely good. I felt like the intro was a little long, but oh wow, Santo says let me in. Wow.
Really,
Okay.
I'm
Someone
surprised.
likes let me in.
I'm surprised. Cause
Uh
like for Let Me In, the best part of like I only liked that Firefly Funhouse intro, and then just the beginning where it says "Let Me In," and then afterwards it was like, okay, this is like a demented bad version of Live in Fear.
I don't know. I kind of liked the female vocalist singing Live in Fear in Let Me In. But yeah, I do agree why a lot of people like Shatter. That's definitely my second favorite. It's more creative and
Yeah,
fit the mysterious part of Bray Wyatt's 2023 character because we didn't know shit about what Bray was doing at that point
it seemed
in his
like to
career.
me. I think I understood it. I mean, it seemed like he was just being more like himself, more like Wyndham Rotunda rather than Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Uh, and it was like a combination of the Eater of Worlds and Wyndham Rotunda. Um, I actually loved it the most. This is probably like a crazy take, but I actually adored Bray as a babyface rather than a heel. Because I was like, I guess I grew used to him being a heel, but like it brought back my attention once he turned face. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that brief time
uh,
when he turned face, when he came back and he said like thank you to everybody and he cried in like the middle of the ring. It was like, oh
yeah,
fuck.
I like that. Yeah, I think it was face before too. I think with uh, Matt Hardy when he helped Matt Hardy win a battle royal at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think it was not the. It might have been the Andre the Giant battle royal, or something. But
Yeah, it was Andre the Giant Battle Royal, yeah.
yeah, but that was definitely a face turn, and I was like, okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, he was decent as a babyface. I actually liked his run with Matt Hardy. I think that was kind of underrated.
Yeah,
The leaders of worlds. I thought that
yeah,
was a very
I
good
loved it
tag
honestly.
team, especially when Jeff Hardy was out. I felt
Yeah,
like that was a good thing. Um, yeah, no, yeah, I gotta say, "Live in Fear" is definitely my favorite theme song by Bray Wyatt. And it's still weird thinking that he won a tag team title with Matt Hardy. He was a Raw tag champion with Matt Hardy.
it was cool. Yeah, it was. I personally loved it, and I also loved that feud with his brother, Bo, and uh, the other
Curtis
guy.
Axel. Curtis
Yeah,
Axel, yeah.
yeah, they did incredible impressions of Matt Hardy and Bray. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
And
looking
like
back on
there
that
was one
promo.
moment where you can see Bray like smiling, and he's just as if he's like just so proud of Bo, like getting the impression like so good. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
one.
see that.
Yeah, there was this one little promo where Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy were feuding with Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, and Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel were doing like impressions of Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, and Bo was Bray Wyatt, and he looked and sounded exactly like Bray. He got the impression so good. And then, yeah, towards the end of the promo, Bray was just like smiling, like, "Oh, that motherfucker." But I love him, you know.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
um, yeah, no, that was a very good one. Shit, man. Um, what about we didn't even talk about this moment, and I'm shocked that no one talked about this moment. His return last year, one of the greatest returns in WWE history. The crowd
The
was all
White
over it.
Rabbit song playing every event and stuff, the QR codes
Yeah,
teasing his return, people speculating that it was uh, Malachi or some, or like just Edge or something, or like
Karrion Cross.
Karrion Cross. I was like, I think even Joe Gacy kind of like threw people off and tried to pretend to be part of
Baron
that.
Corbin tried pretending it was him.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, this is Bray. The fact that like it was like so intricate, and it was like bringing you to like the most random places. Like you would actually have to like look through things. I'm like, this is Bray. This is 100% Bray. No one can do this. like, this has to be Bray. I knew, and I was like, oh my god. Just cause like it was sending you to like places like in the internet. It was taking you to the specific cities of SmackDown, and I think even a couple Raws. Um, but it also like took you to like a couple images um,
TikTok
on the
videos as well.
internet
Yeah,
and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this gotta be Bray. Bray, like no one but Bray could be like this specific and this detail oriented, and then the day before Extreme Rules or something, it led to the TikTok that uh and it I think it was, and it just repeatedly said let me in. I'm like, yeah, it's Bray.
oh yeah, I remember that. And that was also when it was like tomorrow night, and the G was like a 6, and everyone was like, "Wyatt 6, let's go."
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and that's another thing. It pisses me off that we never got the Wyatt 6, um,
yeah,
as well. But another thing I want to say as well is like Bray Wyatt carried the pandemic era for me, especially with those cinematic matches that he had with the likes of John Cena and Braun Strowman and all them. And I think Bray, out of everyone, took advantage of the cinematic era of WWE very well, um,
yeah.
and sort of carried those matches. Um, but yeah, no, it's just a
He's
shame that
definitely one of the MVPs of the pandemic era. I think other people who carried the pandemic era was like Drew. Drew definitely carried the company
Sa-
on his back, like during the
yeah,
pandemic era.
Sasha and Bailey did
Sasha and
100%.
Bailey for sure. Um, who
Apollo
else?
Crews.
I could have sworn there was someone that else that carried me. But
Oh, there was someone else. MVP carried it actually.
MVP,
MVP,
yeah.
he did pretty good.
Even Seth was doing well.
Oh, Monday Night Messiah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a very good one.
Um, Roman was Roman.
Roman just started the tribal chief.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, Roman and Jay, I think, share that. I think Jay definitely showed a side that we didn't expect. Brian definitely
mm,
gave his last moments, and
yeah, yeah, that's true. Okay, well, here's another question here. What's a Bray Wyatt match we never gotten that if he was still here and you were booking that you would book to have a dream match? Wolf.
Well, of course I gotta say this: Bray Wyatt and Edge.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm shocked we never got this. And I think Bray and Edge would have killed it together. Would have made something incredible. Um, Especially if it was during the time Bray was the Fiend. I think it would definitely have fit in perfectly with Edge's character.
I agree. Asa.
El Hijo del Vikingo. I would love to see Wyatt as the Fiend in there with Vikingo flipping and flirting around. Do a Falls Count Anywhere match, even maybe, and
Okay.
have Vikingo flipping around, and then maybe get it on the outside and go to the back, maybe even to level things out a little for the Fiend, to where Vikingo has to do some brawling where he can't just flip and fly around, and then bring it back to the ring to finish it out. Uh, yeah, I would love to see that. I would love to. Yeah.
Yeah, if we were talking just the WWE standpoint, I would say Edge definitely.
Oh, was
To
it
Wolf's
just
point.
WWE?
Oh no, if we were talking to just the
Oh,
WWE
okay.
point, I would say Edge. Here's one if I were to open the forbidden door a little bit, I would say one Darby Allen would be a very good one. I think the promos would be decent. Put Sting in there as well. Have Sting try to help Darby, maybe um have Redbeard if I was booking, try to put Sting out of commission. But yeah, no, Edge and Bray Wyatt would have definitely carried. I was shocked we didn't get that in 2020, especially with like Firefly Funhouse segments on Edge about his failures and his retirement. I felt like that spoke for itself, and the in-ring psychology would have definitely helped. And the fact we never got Bray versus Edge really, really pisses me off in a way.
If there was
So,
someone from AEW that I'd want to see, like Bray face, it would probably be Malachi.
oh
I'm
yeah,
just shocked we never. I don't think we ever got Bray
no,
Wyatt versus Aleister Black.
no, we never did.
WWE. So I think they were on different brands, basically. So
Yeah,
uh, yeah,
uh, yeah, man. Like we said, yeah, Bray Wyatt wasn't booked the most well in WWE, and that was a big shame. I remember when he got released in 2021, I was very, very mad, and I was like, "Why the fuck would they do this? He's their top merch seller and all that." But I'm glad, in a sense, that Bray's last feud was against LA Knight, and LA Knight in the position that he is in now. Like he said on SmackDown, gotta credit Bray Wyatt for that, because
yeah.
otherwise, I don't know where LA Knight would really be
I
if it
don't
wasn't for
think
that last
I
feud with
don't
Wyatt.
think LA Knight would have been the star he is without Bray Wyatt. I mean, he would have definitely gotten better look, but he wouldn't be so over. I think Bray helped. The Bray feud definitely helped uh, put more focus on LA Knight.
Hey, so what do you think about the whole Bray and LA Knight feud and how it's kind of helped LA Knight?
The Bray and LA Knight feud.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I guess I missed it. I don't remember a Bray and LA Knight feud.
Oh, it was earlier this year. It was the Royal Rumble, Mountain Dew Pitch
Oh, the
Black match.
Mountain Dew match. The Mountain Dew
Yeah,
match.
the Mountain Dew
Yeah,
match, the
I do
bad
remember
Mountain
it.
Dew match.
I do remember it. I'm sorry. Um, I guess it did elevate LA Knight a bit.
I mean, I think we can definitely agree on that because while the ultimate match at Royal Rumble
Oh, the
didn't
match wasn't at all good. The
wasn't
feud
that
was actually
great,
I
good.
thought
uh,
it was okay. It was an okay match, but it
I
was
thought it
real
was all
short,
right
wasn't it?
too, especially since it was to get what's it called, Bray back.
What was it, like 6 minutes, something like that?
Yeah, it was kind of
Yeah,
a squash, but we saw that interesting new look to him, which I loved it honestly.
Uncle Howdy jumping from like a
Until
second story platform.
I
and
think just being
missing
involved.
LA Knight completely. But I think the build up was what was best of that feud because LA that put focus on LA Knight and started getting those chants going. Um, and of course, bringing back the nostalgic stuff of Bray, the Firefly Funhouse, which happened in Detroit, and I was so upset that I couldn't go. Uh, but I lived with it. Uh, yeah, overall, I think the build up was definitely interesting. It got my attention. Uh,
Yeah. I'm just mad that, this whole shit happened and we didn't get Bray versus Bobby Lashley at Mania 39, which that was what we were going to get.
yeah,
I
because
felt
I
like
think
that
the
would have been a
reason
good
why
final match.
Would have been
Bray
interesting to
called
see how
out.
Bray wrestled him, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he called out. It started with Bray calling out Bobby and Brock.
hmm
Uh,
The winner of that match. And technically it was
yeah,
Bobby.
it was Bobby, especially with Brock not wanting to work with Bray. Um, I think from what I understood, the reason the sort of I guess pitch for it was, I guess the storyline in mind was that Bray wanted to, because like Brock and Bobby both were like kind of the perfect like image of what Vince had in mind of wrestlers. Um, and Bray wanted to like basically destroy that idea by going after Bobby or Brock. Um, I think it would have been it was great. And then we didn't get it, and it sucks.
Yeah. Well, I think that's enough depressing shit for today, but I'm going to leave off with this and then we'll give our final thoughts on Bray Wyatt. I'll go first as well. Bray Wyatt, yeah, no, like I said earlier on in the show, and I think for the past week, Bray Wyatt, I definitely got a credit for me being as big of a wrestling fan as I am. Bray Wyatt, no matter what feud he had, no matter what unfortunate booking he had, the loss to Goldberg, the 7-day Universal title feud, all the bad matches that he's had, he's always found a way to get himself back up and still get the popularity of the fans. Because if any wrestler has a bad match, 9 times out of 10 people will turn on them. No one ever turned on Bray, and he could always say that.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Bray can always get eyes back on the TV screen. And like I said on the tribute show, if it wasn't for Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse, and all that, I would be nowhere as close to my brother as I am now. And like I said, I always got to credit Bray Wyatt for that. Bray Wyatt's definitely one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And to hear that the news that he passed away, I didn't want to believe it, but a couple hours after, I had to. And I liked what WWE has done. I liked what AEW has done, what Impact has done by giving all the tributes to them. I wanted to cry when the House of Black gave a nice little tribute to Bray Wyatt at All In. I thought the House of Black was a perfect group to give a tribute entrance to.
Because
Um,
what's it called? Apparently, I think Malachi posted on Instagram saying like Bray helped like bounce ideas off him. Like, so like yeah, they definitely exchanged ideas. I think all of them knew of knew of Bray how and were inspired by Bray. And the thing is also Tony Khan, I think, allowed people to miss the next two dynamites to what's it called, attend Bray's services. Uh, so like I would guess that also means Collision as well. I would guess that House of Black would not be featured for like the next couple of weeks. Um,
I guess it's perfect timing. Then they dropped the trios belts, but
yeah, but we'll see what happens.
Wolf, what are your final thoughts on Bray there?
Um, Bray was incredible in my opinion. He was definitely one of my favorites. Definitely like one of my top 10. Um, like I always just found him relatable. I could never understand why, but just especially when he came back last year and every segment he gave, I didn't care that he wasn't doing much. I just listening to him, I was like, especially like given what I've dealt with, I think he definitely gave a relatable tone. And yeah, I always appreciated him for that. I was like, yeah, that's the best. That is, and throughout this past year, I've loved Bray more than I have before. It just skyrocketed. I could never stop loving Bray, I guess.
Whoa, what the heck? Why are you upside down, bud?
So yeah,
That's weird. Why is he upside down?
very happy about
What did
Bray.
I do?
Uh, and I'm hoping he's in a better place now.
Okay, hopefully he can come back and he's not upside down.
So
There we
yeah,
go. But yeah, what? No, hey, so you weren't upside down? Oh, I love being live, but Wolf. Yeah, no, I completely understand. But yeah, no, like I said, his horror esque character really gravitated me 100%. You're good, but hey, I
yeah,
really don't know what I hate Restream. I might have to find a better streaming app. OBS, I'll probably do on OBS. But
um,
yeah,
yeah.
no.
I need to set up my slobs. Um,
Slobs. Is that what you're calling Streamlabs OBS now?
yeah, they used to call it that. I think they've always called it that. Slobs.
Weird.
Um,
I never thought that they would call it that, but I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, that I guess will have to conclude the Bray Wyatt Remembering Windham Rotunda Unscripted podcast. I figured we would all go in here um, for about an hour. It's an hour and 8 minutes now to sort of talk about our favorite matches, favorite memories, and everything about Bray Wyatt. And yeah, it's very, very, very upsetting that Bray Wyatt has unfortunately passed away. Yeah.
oh, yeah.
My apologies. More brownies. Anyways, um, Wolf, do you got anything else to say before we skedaddle out of
Um,
here?
no, not really.
Yeah, well, anyways, yeah, no, rest in peace, Wyndham Rotunda. My thoughts with his family. Um, you know, I'm still at a loss for words, even though it's been what, like 5 days since it's happened. Um, I just hope that his legacy lives on, and you know, we remember. Like probably one of the first wrestling pay-per-views I'll show my kids is probably SummerSlam 2019. I thought it was a very good pay-per-view. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude our live tonight. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. Thank you so much to all the people in the chat, aka the two of you, and I appreciate you, Sean and Santo, for tuning in. Also, hello to any of Wolf's subscribers. This is streaming right now on his YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's about it. This has been your boy Willie Does Wrestling. That has been Will Ferris. Asa has been here, and I don't know. He was turned upside down, and then his shit isn't working. So we'll see you in the next video. Be good, people, and